weeks or whatever it's been. We have you designing and developing a business plan. Does anybody know what the 7 elements of a business plan are? Why am I alone? I see tumbleweeds.
Like marketing.
We told you to write a business plan, and nobody told you what the 7 elements of a business plan are?
Are you talking about sections? Like
No,
marketing?
not sections.
No.
Not much marketing, operations, finance. The elements, the purpose, the goals, the core, the center, the framework that holds it all together. Why we're doing it. Nobody talked about it.
No.
We haven't talked about the plan.
We just changed our entire day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're in luck, because I've been around here before. I actually put class notes together, and it has information on there. Not a lot, but it does tell you the 7, okay? I don't have them on screen. I don't have a slide, but I have them right here. Element number 1, tell a complete story. You don't have to write this down. It's in class notes. You can download from Angel. I got them right here. I'm just going to read it. Okay, tell a complete story. Number 2, be forward-looking. History, rearview mirror. What are you doing going forward? Okay. 2 or 3, develop a balanced document. That means don't go super happy on me and tell me that, you know, this is $1 billion business and I'm going to cash out in 3 years. Yes. Balance. What's realistic? Don't go ultra conservative because then you'll scare me off. Here's something. I'm going to give them a clue for tomorrow, okay? Investors want to make sure that you understand or are sensible about the business. If you're overhyped, they're out. If you're over-conservative, they think you're nuts, they're out. Okay, so you have to be balanced. Number 4, you want to be clear, concise, and organized. Don't ramble, get to the point. What do I need to know? How are you going to do it? What's the expected return? Number 5, please be understandable. Most people who read this business plan have not lived with this business for the last 5 years like you. We have no context provided, so we understand. Number 6, give realistic data. That's something hopefully we will help you with over this weekend. And number 7, provide historical and projected financials. So realistically, we're looking at 6 and 7. Okay? So now you kind of understand what the business planning elements are. Okay? Do you have a question? Or
What was number 6 again?
6 was something about some number thing. Realistic data to support kind of your assumptions in your plan. Okay? All right. So, let me, I'm going to ask tech. I always look here for the mouse. And it might just be a me thing. It might just be a me thing. All right, what I'm going to do now is, which one's mine?
The one on the bottom.
Okay. That's okay, you don't have to do that.
That's also, this is, all these slides are on Angel, or so if you don't, yeah.
One of the questions you had, and I forget what the exact phrasing was, but it had to do with QuickBooks and accounting numbers and how do I use that. Well, if you notice, one of the elements is provide historical and forward-looking projections. Historical, when we're talking kind of numbers or finance realm, are your accounting statements, the historical ones, the data you gather, you bundle it up, and you send it off. The finance, forward-looking. And they have that intersection, okay? You can think of them tangent circles. They kind of touch, but they're not the same. Your historical kind of feeds to going forward from the standpoint of what? Come on, don't
A basis of, you know, what has been, so that's how you form your projections.
a sense of what has
What
been.
has been, so
Okay.
you form your projections on actually something that's actually in existence.
Or standard for growth.
Or standards of growth. Okay. How many of you have ever been to business school? put it in context. What were we just talking about?
History.
History. And history shows you a
Pattern.
pattern. Therefore, we're looking for what in this?
Pattern.
A pattern, some type of pattern recognition. More common business term is a growth pattern or begins with a T,
Trend.
a trend, right? So what would the trend be in this?
Polka dots.
Polka dots? Could be. Could be. What about polka dots? So you've done started now. The back row starting early. What about polka dots, Mr. Platt?
Wait, so you want me to elaborate on?
Yes, you said polka dots. What about polka
You were
dots?
asking about a trend, and you were putting dots on the screen, and I said,
Okay, so what about polka dots? Do polka dots have a trend when you use them in fashion? What's the trend?
color, size.
Could be colors, size, pattern, density, packed together. You know, so it's all those sorts of things. We can look at this. What do we see? Do we see a pattern? Do we see density?
Yes.
Is it dense over here?
No.
Dense over here.
It looked like a mess.
Dense down here?
No.
Where's it dense? Up in here, right? So we kind of, okay, there's something going on in here. You know, and what we do is we usually give it some context. And now, we give it a little context and framework, you know, throwing business terms in here. What is the pattern?
The growth, I think.
You think?
Depending on your framework.
Depending on my framework, could be growth.
The growth.
Okay, and the growth is, or how would you represent this? In the form of a line. You would kind of say, okay, it looks like something along these lines, right? I have a lot of density around here. This is what we use accounting for to help us going forward to forecast. Okay? We can look at things, and this could be time, meaning year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it could be anything. Time, it could be dollars, it could be units sold, it could be all sorts of things. Our accounting information, our historical information, allows us to see trends. How many of you read the Wall Street Journal on a religious basis every day, including the weekend editions? Okay, well, here we go. What you look for is you look for trends, patterns, you look for historical statistics, what's going on. The reason I asked you about the Wall Street Journal is how many of you know what's going on in Greece? Sunday. So you kind of know. And what happens if Greece goes one way or the other? And just forget the election thing, but just say they want to stay in the European Union or they want to leave. What could happen? One way or the other.
The end of the end of the European Union.
Could Trump at the end of the European Union or rapid
The Spanish
decline?
will go after them, and then the Italian.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're saying, okay, I kind of historically know how they behave and they act. I know their trends, their patterns of behaviors. And if this domino falls, I predict that this will go, this will go, this will go, and this will kind of be the result. And here might be the financial implications or the business implications for me. I might not be able to do business in Europe as planned. That is kind of forward-looking, that's kind of the financial stuff. You translate that stuff into your numbers. Historical, I know how people behave and act is your accounting. I know how much it costs for rent. I know how much material costs me if I buy at different levels of volumes. Okay? Those are kind of the accounting things. And that's how you kind of blend or you feel comfortable in between your kind of accounting realm and your financing realm.